So now I can put this cylinder back in this housing. So all this is clean, all this thread's clean, so while I'm here I can put anti-seize on all of these areas, like so. Now one thing you can do is you can wear gloves to reassemble these items. Luckily we have cleaned all of the paint remnants on this, and there's no solvents involved, there's nothing that can hurt me and contaminate my skin. If you wish to wear gloves, please do so. So all these edges here, they need a little bit of anti-seize on them. Same with the threads. So there's no need to go overboard with the amount of anti-seize you put on there. So back to this section here. Now I can slide that back in there, but look what can happen is if I'm not careful, I can damage that piston on this housing. So what I suggest you do is, back around this side, if you put this keeper back in, put an O-ring on the keeper, so with a little bit of Vaseline in the ringland, like so, slide the O-ring on there, like so, a little bit of Vaseline, bit of anti-seize again. Don't overdo it with the anti-seize. Slide that back into place. Now you don't have to do it up tight. What we're looking to do is hold that piston straight and we don't damage the piston. So what's missing out of there? I put the keeper in. What do I need? Probably some packings would be a good idea. So here we are, some we soaked earlier. Remember what I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a pressure chamber underneath. So what we're looking to do is make sure that the chevron seals face the pressure. The two lips face the pressure. So can I slide them straight in there like that? No, I need a keeper. So because they're facing down, the keeper faces that way. So the easiest way to do this is with some Vaseline on your keeper, like so. Slide the keeper down in place. Then you can put your packers in there. You can put them all together if you want to. But the one thing you've got to remember is that they all must go home and it must be square. So if you slide them in with your finger like so, you've got to run your finger around the inside of them to make sure there isn't any gaps. So if you're happy that they're square, happy days. However, if you think to yourself, no, I didn't get it right, start again. Just start again. So take the keeper back out again, the retainer, slide it back into place. Be careful it doesn't flip over on you. Make sure that it's facing up. And then if you wish to, you can do them one by one. Slide them into place and ensure that it's gone all the way home. One by one, ensure also it's gone all the way home, and so on, until you get to the end of the rack of 5 packings and slide them all in. So, are they all the way home? Just kick it up to one side and have a look down inside the barrel to see that they are all the way home. One other thing I need is another keeper. It doesn't hurt to put a little bit of Vaseline on this keeper as well, and a little bit on the inside of it. Now, before I put that one in there, because this piston is going to come through these keepers, what I'll do is I'll put more Vaseline on the inside of that so that this has got some lubrication to be able to come through the packers without tearing them or moving them at all. So with lots of lubrication, and you're thinking to yourself, this is crazy because he's going to put paint through this. Well, ultimately, like I said, upon any repair, you must rinse this out with solvent now, because you cannot put this straight into paint. The other aspect of it too, of course, is that you'll be running solvent through it to ensure it works before you even contemplate putting paint in there. So now we've got this lubricated, we've got a retainer in there, and we gently slide that in there, gently, until it comes out the top. There it is. Look what's happened. Oh no, the packers have come back out again. What's missing? Slide it back out, like so. The packings have come out, so ultimately what's missing? Have the packings moved? No, they're all still there. Slide the retainer back in, and then we want this item here. Now look, there's no O-ring on this one. All it is a keeper. So what this one does is, it presses up against our packings and keeps them nice and tight. So ultimately what happens in that chamber is this comes up and squashes onto these packings. So this is sitting on the seat and the packings are torqued up with this nut here. So this castellated nut is the oil well, which gives lubrication down through here and into these packings. And there's the keeper. So we reinstall them again. Put the keeper in first, or the retainer. Put your packings in, like so. Have I pushed them in square? No, they're not starting square. Pull them back out again. Start them square, push them back home, like so. Make sure they're all home and square and kissing each other. And the gap from the top of that taper to the top of the packing should be about the same. Have a look. Yes, it's all the same. Put the retainer back in. A little bit of Vaseline on top of the retainer, primarily because we want that to be lubricated. So when we tighten it up, it doesn't grab on that keeper and twist it around on the packers. So the only other thing we need for this one here is a little bit of anti-seize, like so. Doesn't hurt to put a bit of Vaseline on the end of the stem here. So you can see I'm big on that, on lubrication and anti-seize, so that I can get the thing undone again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to screw this down onto the packings. So it'll go to the retainer and kiss. There it is, like so. Now the one thing I advise you to do, see how this is loose? What I'd be inclined to do is, without the piston in there, grab your C-section spanner and tighten up the base. So now what you're doing is you're making that new O-ring squash into the taper. So you'll find that there'll be a little bit of resistance there. And there it goes. It's just gone past the taper and now it's going to seat. Do I have to do this up extremely tight? No. What you'll do is you'll do it up and nip it up. So there it is, it's gone home, and that's more than enough. Now, when I screw this up or down, this bottom one, this bottom castellated nut, the base for the packing holder is not moving. So there we are. So with no tension on the packings, because remember, if I screw that up real tight, I'll squash the packings and I won't get the piston through. So with no torque on the packings whatsoever, put your pump body up on its side, very gently, put your finger in there so that you can feel your piston come through, like so. Piston slides through the packings, and there we are. It started in the barrel for us, and we can do this up. And the piston's poking through there. I haven't damaged anything, nothing's damaged.